Members of the Council have before them document S/2025/837, the text of a draft resolution submitted by the United States of America. The Council is ready to proceed to a vote on the draft resolution before it. I shall put the draft resolution to the vote now. Will those in favor of the draft resolution contained in document S/2025/837 please raise their hands? The result of the voting is as follows. The draft resolution received 15 votes in favor. The draft resolution has been adopted unanimously as Resolution 2810 of 2025. I now give the floor to those members of the Council who wish to make statements after the vote. I give the floor to the representative of the United States.
Thank you, Madam President. The United States appreciates the unity demonstrated by the Council in renewing the UN Security Council's Counterterrorism Executive Directorate, the CTED mandate. Sadly, the evolving global threat and costly toll of terrorism remains clear. In this month alone, 3 American lives were lost to terrorism in Syria, and 15 people were senselessly killed in an anti-Semitic terror attack at Bondi Beach in Australia. We reaffirm the Counterterrorism Executive Directorate's mandate today for another 3 years. Although this mandate's renewal cycle differs from the last few mandate renewals, it reflects and aligns with the United States' position that all UN special political missions must have more regular oversight to ensure their work remains focused and effective. We recognize the useful work of CTED has accomplished over the last 20 years to conduct 216 assessment visits to more than 120 member states and produce more than 40 analytical products on emerging terrorist trends. We also appreciate CTED's close collaboration with the UN Office of Counterterrorism and other relevant international organizations and stakeholders. This collaboration facilitates training and enables all member states to take the steps necessary to protect their citizens, their borders, and critical infrastructure against terrorist attacks. The responsibility of combating terrorist threats must be shared among those who have the most at stake. We welcome the steps other member states are taking to share this burden. Actually, one more page. Almost. Thank you. Looking forward, it is critical CTED remain focused on core counterterrorism measures related to denying financing and protecting borders. CTED must also prioritize and focus its visits and assessments on countries with the greatest risk and threats of terrorism, particularly the evolving threat of Islamist terrorism in Africa. The United States will continue to use all available tools at our disposal to counter the global scourge of terrorism. We welcome the constructive engagement by our fellow Council members to work together in this regard. And now I'm really finished. Thank you.
I thank the representative of the United States for the statement, and I give the floor to the representative of France.
Thank you, President. France welcomes the renewal of the Counterterrorism Executive Directorate. CTED is an essential actor of the multilateral counterterrorism architecture. It plays an indispensable role in assessing the implementation of Council resolutions and in identifying ways of improving the situation that are targeted and adapted to the local situation via field visits and direct exchanges with competent state authorities. We thank CTED and all of its teams, as well as the Executive Director, for mobilizing to implement their mandate. This mobilization should continue, while terrorist groups, first and foremost Al-Qaeda and Daesh, continue to reconfigure and remain able to project their threat across all continents. France voted in favor of this resolution because we fully support CTED's mandate. Nonetheless, we regret that this mandate was renewed for only 3 years, not 4, as all of the Council's members, except one, wished. We hope that during the next renewal in 2029, we will revert to a quadrennial renewal. I thank you.
I thank the representative of France for the statement. There are no more names inscribed on the list of speakers. The meeting is adjourned.
The 10,082nd meeting of the Security Council is called to order. The provisional agenda for this meeting is the situation in Bosnia and Herzegovina. The agenda is adopted. The Security Council will now begin its consideration of item 2 of the agenda. The Council has before it the text of a statement by the President on behalf of the Council on the subject of today's meeting. I thank the Council members for their valuable contributions to this statement. In accordance with the understanding reached among the members of the Council, I shall take it that the members of the Council agree to the statement, which will be issued as a document of the Security Council under the symbol S/PRST/2025/8. The meeting is adjourned. The 10,083rd meeting of the Security Council is called to order. The provisional agenda for this meeting is the situation in the Middle East. The agenda is adopted. In accordance with Rule 37 of the Council's Provisional Rules of Procedure, I invite the representative of the Syrian Arab Republic to participate in this meeting. It is so decided. The Security Council will now begin its consideration of item 2 of the agenda. I wish to draw the attention of Council members to document S/2025/784, the report of the Secretary General on the United Nations Disengagement Observer Force. Members of the Council have before them document S/2025/827, the text of a draft resolution submitted by the Russian Federation and the United States of America. The Council is ready to proceed to the vote on the draft resolution before it. I shall put the draft resolution to the vote now. Will those in favor of the draft resolution contained in document S/2025/827 please raise their hand? The result of the voting is as follows. The draft resolution received 15 votes in favor. The draft resolution has been adopted unanimously as Resolution 2811. I now give the floor to those members of the Council who wish to make statements after the vote. I give the floor to the representative of the United States.
Thank you, Mr. President. I want to begin by thanking the Council for supporting UNDOF's mandate renewal today. This vote ensures continuity for a mission that plays an important role upholding peace, security, and stability along the Israel-Syria border, thereby supporting the conditions necessary for a future political resolution between the two countries. We also thank the parties for their continued cooperation with UNDOF, and most importantly, we thank UNDOF for its continued work as its personnel operate in a dynamic and at times volatile environment. Colleagues, as co-pen holder on this resolution, our goal was simple. We sought to streamline the text, distilling it down to the core language that would direct UNDOF to continue fulfilling its mandate, one that has long enjoyed unanimous support from this Council. This effort was guided by our back-to-basics approach. From the outset, we were clear with all that we were not accepting new language, but rather shortening the existing text. We were equally clear that in doing so, we were pursuing the continuation of UNDOF's existing task and mission and seeking to change UNDOF's mandate or not seeking to change UNDOF's mandate or its focus. In closing, we once again thank the Council for renewing UNDOF's mandate today, and we thank our co-pen for its close cooperation throughout this process. Thank you.
I thank the representative of the United States for the statement, and I give the floor to the representative of the Russian Federation.
Mr. President, we're grateful to all Security Council members which supported the Russo-American draft resolution regarding the extension of the UNDOF mandate for another 6 months. This is a Russian and US initiative. And on our initiative, the changes were made to the document. It's more concise, it's more succinct. At the same time, it endorsed key aspects of some components of UNDOF's mandate and the situation in the Golan endorsed by previous Security Council resolutions. The main thing is that there's an equivocal call for the parties to the conflict to implement Resolution 338, dated 1973, as well as the Separation of Forces Agreement dated 1974. We're particularly disquieted by ongoing violations of the 1974 agreement, specifically the illegal presence of Israeli divisions in the buffer zone, and this for over a year now. Equally disquieting is the IDF's advance further into Syria, as well as indiscriminate strikes on the sovereign territory of the Arab Republic. We call on Western Jerusalem to follow in Damascus's example and to exercise restraint, avoiding any unilateral, illegitimate, and provocational steps. We call on it also to maintain regular contacts with UNDOF so as to settle any differences which arise. We stand convinced that under current conditions, the presence of peacekeepers in the Golan Heights occupied by Israel, it's particularly important. This should be a restraining factor in the zone of separation. We are grateful to the mission personnel, UNDOF personnel, as well as to all the troop contributing countries which are sending their peacekeepers to the area of operations. By way of conclusion, we'd like to reassert our unwavering position. That is, the Syrian Golan Heights are an inseparable part of Syria, as per Security Council Resolution 497 and subsequent UN Security Council decisions. I thank you.
I thank the representative of the Russian Federation for the statement. I give the floor to the representative of China.
President, just now the Security Council unanimously adopted a resolution 2811 renewing the mandate of UNDOF for 6 months. I wish to make an explanation of China's vote. First, since its establishment in 1974, UNDOF has played an important role in maintaining overall stability on the ground. Under the current circumstances, it is particularly important to ensure continuity in the work of UNDOF and maintain stability in the Golan Heights. For that reason, China voted in favor of the draft resolution. China wishes to reiterate that all parties are obligated to fully implement the 1974 Disengagement of Forces Agreement, that unauthorized foreign forces should not be stationed in the area of separation between Syria and Israel. Implementation of UNDOF's duty in accordance with the mandate given by Security Council should be guaranteed. Second, Syria's sovereignty, independence, unity, and territorial integrity should be fully respected. This is a principle that must be upheld in addressing the Syrian issue. The Golan Heights is recognized by the international community as Syria's occupied territory. As early as 1981, the Security Council adopted Resolution 497, in which it concluded on the legal status of the Syrian Golan Heights, explicitly declaring the occupation of the Syrian Golan Heights as null and void. Relevant Security Council resolutions must be implemented. Third, a comprehensive solution to the Syrian issue cannot be achieved without a peaceful and stable domestic environment. On December 26, a terrorist attack on a mosque in the Syrian city of Homs resulted in heavy casualties. China opposes terrorism in all its forms and strongly condemns this attack. At the same time, it shows that the counter-terrorism situation in Syria remains grave and complex. We call on transitional government of Syria to fulfill its international obligations in good faith and take all effective measures to resolutely combat all international terrorist organizations listed by the Security Council, including the ETIM, in order to achieve security and stability in the country. Thank you, President.
I thank the representative of China for the statement, and I give the floor to the representative of Somalia.
Thank you, Mr. President. We also want to thank the co-pen holders, the United States of America and the Russian Federation, for their efforts in drafting today's resolution. Somalia voted in favor of this resolution to extend the mandate of United Nations Disengagement Observer Force, UNDOF. We do so at a time when the security situation is deteriorating and as a result of the persistent unilateral actions. While UNDOF remains an essential mechanism for stability, its effectiveness is being systematically undermined. Mr. President, Somalia reaffirms its unwavering support for the sovereignty, unity, and territorial integrity of the Syrian Arab Republic. We stand unequivocally that Golan Heights are Syrian land and demand the full return of all occupied Syrian territories in accordance with international law and the relevant Security Council resolutions. Any attempt to alter the legal or the demographic status of the occupied Syrian territories is null and void without legal effect. My delegation strongly condemns the repeated violations of the Syrian sovereignty and the blatant disregard for the 1974 Disengagement of Forces Agreement. We denounce Israel's continued military incursions and unauthorized presence in the areas of separation, which directly threaten the regional peace. The use of the area of operations for provocative military activities risks triggering a full-scale regional escalation. We urge the occupying power to adhere strictly to the disengagement agreement and cease its hostility acts against the Syrian territory. Mr. President, we express our profound disappointment that UNDOF mandate was not renewed for a full year in an increasingly volatile environment. A shorter mandate creates unnecessary uncertainty and fails to provide the long-term stability required for the mission to operate effectively. We emphasize the absolute necessity of ensuring that the safety and security of UNDOF personnel. We demand that all parties facilitate the mission's full freedom of movement and remove all obstructions in its mandate. UNDOF must continue to operate in an impartial, credible manner, but this cannot occur in a vacuum while international law is being disregarded. In conclusion, Somalia reaffirms its strong support for UNDOF and its important role in maintaining peace and security in the region. We reiterate that the lasting peace and stability in the Middle East can only be achieved through full respect for international law, relevant Security Council resolutions, and restoration of the occupied lands. We remain committed to the principles that the dialogue and diplomacy must be rooted in the respect for the national borders and the end of illegal occupation. I thank you.
I thank the representative of Somalia for the statement. And now I give the floor to the representative of the Syrian Arab Republic.
Thank you, Mr. President. The Security Council has just spoken moments ago and stated clearly and unanimously that the disengagement agreement must be respected and implemented. Anyone who carefully reads the operative paragraphs of the resolution and listens to the comprehensive briefings delivered by the Under-Secretary General for Peace Operations, Mr. Jean-Pierre Lacroix, and even to the Israeli statements themselves, can only conclude that Israel continues to violate every word of that agreement. Everyone now has a clear understanding of the realities prevailing in southern Syria. This map can explain that fact, Mr. President. Allow me to explain it. Israel has occupied the Syrian Golan for almost 60 years. The Golan that earlier this month, the General Assembly reaffirmed its Syrian sovereignty. 123 states voted in favor of the resolution that demanded Israel to withdraw from all such territories, a demand that the Israeli representative described as disconnected from reality. For over a year, as mentioned by the delegates here, Israeli occupation forces have been present in the area of separation. That's where the Ondof is currently located, and even beyond that separation zone. And they have repeatedly declared that they will not withdraw from the Mount Hermon. The summit of the mount lies along the Syrian-Lebanese border, which is geographically distant from the occupied Golan. Mr. President, the briefing delivered by Mr. Lacroix to this council the past week has answered so many questions. Are there any Syrian armed forces present in the areas subject to inspection? No. Has Israel expanded its presence in southern Syria and continues to violate the resolutions of this esteemed council? Yes. Are Israeli fortification and construction activities in the areas of separation and limitation still ongoing? Yes. Mr. Lacroix confirmed that, and he further added that there are no indications that Israel intends to withdraw at the foreseeable level. So, according to the above, Mr. President, is there any doubt, in light of the above, as to the falsity of Israel's claim that its presence in the area of separation is temporary and limited as it alleges? The international community is fully aware of which party is violating its obligations and which party is abiding by them. The international community also is fully aware of who is trying to find a solution with an American mediation that we are thankful for, and who is obstructing such efforts. And I reiterate the question I posed to you during the previous meeting on Syria. How is Syria being rewarded for its commitment to international legitimacy? Is the reward more and more attacks, ground incursions, drones, and assaults on Syrian civilians, their abduction and killing? Mr. President, the United Nations has, on numerous occasions, commended Syria for its commitment to facilitating the work of the UNDOF without any harassment or risk. Syria is providing the conducive environment so that it can carry out its mandate in the best possible manner. And as we're approaching a new year, I can only wish the personnel of the UNDOF continued safety. I wish that no harm or danger befall them as a result of the Israeli recklessness within its area of operations.
Given that Syria was mentioned a couple of weeks ago as part of a New Year's resolution for the Security Council by a certain delegation, let me share our New Year's resolution in this context. It's an UNDOF force that is able to operate to fulfill its mandate freely and without being surrounded by Israeli occupation forces from each and every side. And of course, our resolution, although that falls within the realm of wishful thinking, unfortunately, is an Israel that abides by Security Council resolutions and adheres to international law. In closing, Mr. President, let me personally thank you for the exemplary presidency of this month. It was a very heavy Syria month, but I think you've done a fantastic job, and you will be very missed from this council. Thank you very much.
I thank the representative of the Syrian Arab Republic for the statement as well as for nice words addressed to my delegation. There are no more names inscribed on the list of speakers.